Man in the closet. Emily had always been a practical person. She wasn't easily scared, nor did she believe in the supernatural. She had moved into her new apartment, a small but cozy one-bedroom unit in an old building, with excitement, eager to start fresh after a difficult breakup. The place had character: high ceilings, vintage wooden floors, and a large walk-in closet that was bigger than most bathrooms. At first, everything was fine, but then the noises started. It began with faint rustling sounds at night, like someone shifting their weight inside the closet. She dismissed it as old pipes settling or the wind rattling against the windows. But the noises didn't stop. They became more deliberate, more distinct. One night, as she lay in bed scrolling through her phone, she heard a low, steady breathing coming from inside the closet. Her body froze. The sound was unmistakable. Slow inhales, drawn-out exhales. She turned on her bedside lamp, heart pounding. The closet door was slightly ajar, just as she had left it. Holding her breath, she grabbed the heaviest object within reach, a thick hardcover book, and crept toward the door. With one swift motion, she yanked it open. Nothing. The closet was empty, just as it had been when she moved in. Her clothes hung neatly on their racks, shoes lined up on the floor. She laughed nervously, shaking her head at her paranoia. Maybe she had imagined it. Maybe it was just the sound of her own breathing echoing back at her. She went back to bed, but sleep didn't come easy that night. Over the next few weeks, the breathing sound returned. Some nights, she swore she could hear whispers. She even tried recording with her phone, but all she ever captured was an eerie silence, as if the room itself was holding its breath. Then came the night that changed everything. Emily had been out late with friends. When she returned home, slightly tipsy, but mostly exhausted, she flopped onto her bed without even changing. She barely had time to close her eyes before she heard it again, breathing. But this time, it was right next to her. Her eyes flew open, and in the dim glow of her nightlight, she saw something she would never forget: a shadowed figure crouched at the foot of her bed. She barely had time to scream before it lunged. Emily scrambled out of bed, knocking over her lamp in the process. In the split second of darkness before she switched on her overhead light, she felt a cold hand brush against her ankle. When the light flooded the room, it was gone. The closet door was wide open. She spent the rest of the night in her car, shaking, crying, unable to process what had just happened. The next morning, she packed her things and left the apartment for good. She never went back. To this day, she doesn't know what she saw. Some say it was a spirit attached to the apartment, a lingering presence from a past tenant. Others believe it was something far worse, something that had been waiting in that closet all along, waiting for her to notice.